We're going to be going over a couple of Browns roster moves and some Browns updates in this video. It'll be a little bit short, but it's some things that are genuinely a bit newsworthy and interesting. So Jakeem Grant's contract has been restructured to keep him on the team for this year. The renegotiation has lowered his cap hit for the season by a little bit more than $1.5 million, and that may not sound like a whole lot, but every bit helps when you're operating under a competitive window and you're trying to get, save as much room on that salary cap as possible. I don't think that this is a coincidence that it came after Bubba Ventrone got hired as special teams coordinator. I really think he wants to get a shot at what Jakeem Grant looks like. I kind of like the move because the Browns could get some oomph in the kickoff returning position that they sorely lacked last year, although Jerome Ford did show some flashes of promise. But if Jerome Ford is going to be highly featured in the offense next year, you might not want to risk him returning kick after kick after kick. That might be an issue. So if Jakeem Grant is the option there, I definitely wouldn't mind it, especially if it's going to save the Browns a little bit of money on this restructured deal into this season. We'll see if Jakeem Grant can repeat the same tremendous training camp performance that he had last year. That was one of the true bitter pills of his injury last year. Not just that he got hurt and wouldn't be here for the season, but that his training camp was going tremendously well. It looked like he was going to be both a force, both returning kicks and just in general at the wide receiver position, which the Browns have had some depth issues at. So it was a big blow to lose him. The worst case scenario for this deal, in my opinion, is that we don't get Jakeem Grant at his best because he comes back from injury and just isn't the same, which is kind of, same old because we didn't have Jakeem Grant at his best last season because we didn't have Jakeem Grant at all. So I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory there. And the Browns are releasing John Johnson once the new league year starts, so it hasn't happened yet, but it is all but confirmed that it will actually happen. All that's left to do is the Browns actually just, make the move to cut him. So this will save the Browns a little less than $10 million in cap space. Again, they're trying to, I think technically they're currently over it, but once they make some cuts, restructure some deals, they should be well under it as, for the next season. John Johnson's time in Cleveland, not what anyone would have hoped it would have been. Too bad it kind of has to end on this sour note where it feels like there's a lot left to be desired there, but sometimes free agent signings just don't work out no matter how big of a splash it might seem to be. A rumored target for the Browns to replace him would be Jesse Bates, who was embroiled in some drama with the Bengals last offseason, and he ended up playing on the franchise tag for Cincinnati, but it doesn't look like he's going to be coming back this season. That would be a weird thing to see Jesse Bates in a Browns uniform in AFC North shuffling going on, the in-state rivalry. Jesse Bates just won't get out of Ohio, but again, that's all speculation for now. We'll see once free agency really starts to pick up after the draft where Jesse Bates really feels like he wants to go. And to end this video off, we're going to talk about not necessarily Browns football news in general as far as the roster goes, but the Haslam family have expanded their sports owning dynasty franchise. I don't know what to call it. They bought a 25% stake in the Milwaukee Bucks for $875 million from Mark Lazary. I think that's how you say his last name. Don't really care enough to bother looking that up. And what this means for the Milwaukee Bucks, I honestly have no idea. They seem to be they're contenders in the East. They're obviously they're contenders for the finals again. But if I'm all for anything that keeps the Haslams distracted from running the Browns football team. So if this keeps their minds off of some of the Browns football operations for a little bit, then count me in. Count me in as being all for it. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much if you made it this far into it, and I will see you at the next one.